There is a reason you found this message today. There is a reason your eyes stopped here. And before you go any further, don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. For a long time, your soulmate convinced themselves that the chapter was over. They believed the feelings had faded. They believed the memories had lost their power. Day after day, they told themselves that moving forward was the only path left. But something unexpected happened. Something they never planned for. Something they never saw coming. And overnight, everything changed. At first, it was small. So small that they almost ignored it. A random thought appeared out of nowhere. A memory they hadn't visited in a very long time suddenly returned. It wasn't forced. It wasn't intentional. It simply arrived. Your presence entered their mind when they least expected it. The strange part? The more they tried to focus on other things, the stronger that feeling became. Don't skip. Because what happened next surprised even them. They started noticing reminders. Familiar words. Familiar emotions. Familiar moments that somehow connected back to you. It felt as if life itself was placing clues directly in their path. At first, they laughed it off. Then they became curious. Then they became unable to ignore it. What they thought was finished suddenly felt unfinished. What they thought was forgotten suddenly felt unforgettable. And that is when everything began shifting beneath the surface. My beloved child, there are moments in life when people realize they have been running from something important. Not because they wanted to. Not because they were afraid. But because they never fully understood what it meant. Your soulmate has entered one of those moments. For the first time in a long time, they are asking questions they avoided before. Questions about the past. Questions about the connection. Questions about you. And every answer seems to lead them back to the same place. Back to the same feeling. Back to the same realization. Back to you. Stay till the end. Because the most surprising part has not happened yet. There was a night recently when everything became impossible to ignore. A quiet moment. Nothing dramatic. Nothing extraordinary. Yet somehow, in that moment, a realization appeared so clearly that it shook everything they thought they knew. The realization was simple. Moving on and forgetting are not the same thing. And they suddenly understood they had never truly forgotten. Not even close. The memories were still there. The emotions were still there. The connection was still there. Waiting. Silent. Patient. Growing stronger with time. My beloved child, while they were trying to move forward, something inside them was quietly holding on to a truth they couldn't see. Now they are beginning to see it. And the more they see it, the harder it becomes to look away. There is a shift happening. A powerful shift. A shift that is changing the way they think. Changing the way they feel. Changing the way they see the future. Don't skip. Because something huge is waiting for you. At this very moment, pieces are moving into place that neither of you could have predicted. Events that once seemed random are beginning to connect. Emotions that once seemed confusing are beginning to make sense. And your soulmate is standing right in the middle of that transformation. They don't fully understand it yet, but they can feel it. Every day it becomes stronger. Every day it becomes clearer. Every day it becomes harder to deny. The story they thought had ended is beginning to feel like it never truly ended at all. And in the next part, you will discover the exact moment they realized this connection was far more powerful than they ever imagined. Stay with me. Don't skip. Because what happened after that realization changed everything. A strange truth is beginning to reveal itself, and your soulmate never expected to be the one discovering it. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. After that unforgettable realization, they tried to return to normal life. They told themselves it was just a passing feeling. They believed the thoughts would disappear if they stayed busy long enough. But they didn't. Instead, the memories became clearer. The emotions became stronger. And the questions became impossible to ignore. What shocked them most was not the fact that they were thinking about you again. It was how often it was happening. A familiar feeling would appear during an ordinary moment. A memory would suddenly return without warning. A thought connected to you would show up when they least expected it. And every time it happened, the same question echoed in their mind. Why now? Why after all this time? Why after believing everything was behind them? Why did this connection suddenly feel more alive than ever? My beloved child, they searched for logical answers. They searched for simple explanations. Yet the deeper they looked, the more confused they became. Because nothing explained what they were feeling. Nothing explained why your presence kept returning to their thoughts. Nothing explained why moving on suddenly felt impossible. Don't skip. Because this is where the story takes a surprising turn. One evening, while reflecting on everything that had changed, they noticed something they had overlooked for a very long time. Every path they had taken since then had somehow led them back to the same lesson. Every experience. Every challenge. Every moment of growth. It all seemed connected. As if life had been preparing them to understand something they once missed. That realization stopped them completely. For the first time, they began seeing the connection differently. Not as a memory. Not as a chapter from the past. But as something that still mattered. Something that still carried meaning. Something they could no longer dismiss. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The more they reflected, the more pieces started fitting together. Moments that once seemed random suddenly made sense. Feelings that once seemed confusing became clear. And a truth slowly emerged from the shadows. The connection never disappeared. It simply waited for the right moment to be understood. My beloved child, your soulmate is standing at a crossroads. One path asks them to continue pretending nothing has changed. The other path asks them to face what their heart has been trying to tell them. And every day, that second path becomes harder to ignore. They can feel the shift. They can feel the pull. They can feel something important unfolding. What makes this even more surprising is that they never expected any of it. They truly believed the story was over. They truly believed they had moved on. Yet now, the very thing they thought was behind them has become impossible to forget. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. Right now, behind the scenes, a powerful transformation is taking place within them. A transformation built from reflection. Built from understanding. Built from truths they can no longer avoid. And in the next part, you will discover the unexpected sign that convinced them this connection was far more important than they had ever imagined. What happened next caught them completely off guard. And once they saw it, nothing felt the same anymore. There is a detail your soulmate never expected to notice, yet the moment it appeared, everything began changing faster than ever. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. For days, they tried to understand why your presence kept returning to their thoughts. They looked for reasons. They searched for distractions. They convinced themselves that eventually the feeling would fade. But instead of fading, it grew stronger. And then something happened that completely caught them off guard. It was not a dramatic event. It was not a grand moment. It was something far more powerful. Clarity. For the first time in a very long time, they stopped running from their thoughts. They stopped pushing away their feelings. They stopped pretending that none of it mattered. And in that quiet moment, they saw something they had missed before. The connection had never truly left. It had only been hidden beneath time, distance, and unanswered questions. My beloved child, when this realization arrived, it felt like a missing piece finally finding its place. Suddenly, things that never made sense before started making sense. Moments they once ignored became important. Memories they once overlooked became meaningful. And the story they thought was finished suddenly felt unfinished. Don't skip. Because this is where everything begins accelerating. As they reflected more deeply, they discovered something surprising. No matter how far they tried to move forward, there was always one thought that remained. One feeling that remained. One connection that remained. Yours. That realization was impossible to ignore. And once they accepted it, a new chapter quietly began. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The most surprising part is that they are no longer asking whether the connection was real. That question has already been answered in their heart. Now they are asking something entirely different. What does this mean? Why has this feeling returned now? Why does it feel stronger than before? Why does it feel like life is trying to show them something important? These questions follow them everywhere. And every answer seems to point in the same direction. Toward understanding. Toward truth. Toward you. My beloved child, there are moments when people suddenly realize they have been looking at their story from the wrong angle. Your soulmate is experiencing one of those moments right now. The past looks different. The present feels different. Even the future looks different. Because they are beginning to understand that some connections are not measured by time. They are measured by impact. And the impact you left on their heart never disappeared. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Every day, this realization becomes stronger. Every day, their certainty grows. Every day, they feel closer to understanding why everything changed overnight. And what they are discovering is more powerful than they ever imagined. The story they thought was over is opening again. The door they believed was closed no longer feels closed. And a truth they once ignored is becoming impossible to overlook. In the next part, you will discover the unexpected moment that made them stop questioning the connection and start believing that something important was unfolding. That moment changed the way they saw everything. And once it happened, there was no turning back. The moment that changed everything was not loud, not dramatic, and not expected. Yet it became impossible for your soulmate to forget. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. For a long time, they believed they had all the answers. They believed they understood the story. They believed they had already turned the page. But then a single realization appeared. And that realization changed the way they saw everything. My beloved child, they suddenly understood that moving on had never brought them the peace they expected. They had moved forward. They had grown. They had changed. Yet one question remained unanswered. Why did thoughts of you still feel so important? Why did memories connected to you still carry meaning? Why did your presence continue to appear in moments when they least expected it? The more they asked these questions, the more one truth became impossible to ignore. You mattered far more than they had ever admitted. And once that truth entered their heart, everything began shifting. Don't skip. Because this next part is something they never saw coming. There was a moment recently when they looked back at the entire journey. Not just the memories. Not just the emotions. The entire journey. And suddenly they noticed a pattern. Every important lesson. Every meaningful change. Every step that helped them become who they are today. Somehow connected back to the same chapter. The chapter involving you. That realization stopped them completely. It was as if a hidden piece of the puzzle finally appeared. And once they saw it, they could not unsee it. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. For the first time, they stopped asking whether they should forget. Instead, they started asking why they had tried so hard to forget in the first place. That question changed everything. Because the answer was not what they expected. Deep down, they never truly wanted to let go of the connection. They only wanted clarity. They only wanted understanding. They only wanted answers. And now, after all this time, those answers are beginning to arrive. My beloved child, something powerful is happening inside their heart. The confusion is fading. The uncertainty is fading. The doubts are fading. And in their place, a new understanding is emerging. An understanding that feels stronger every day. An understanding that feels impossible to ignore. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The story that once felt unfinished is beginning to reveal its purpose. The questions that once seemed impossible are beginning to find answers. And the connection they thought they had moved beyond is becoming clearer than ever before. What makes this revelation so surprising is that it happened when they least expected it. Not months ago. Not years ago. Now. Right when they believed everything was settled. Right when they believed nothing would change. Everything changed. And in the next part, you will discover the realization that made them wonder whether this connection was leading them towards something they had never imagined before. That realization arrived suddenly. And when it did, it left them completely speechless. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because the biggest revelation is getting closer. A hidden realization has finally reached the surface, and your soulmate can no longer pretend they do not see it. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, after everything they experienced, after every question they asked themselves, after every attempt to understand why their feelings had returned, they reached a moment of complete honesty. A moment where excuses disappeared. A moment where distractions lost their power. A moment where only truth remained. And that truth changed everything. They realized that the connection was never just a memory. It was never just a chapter from the past. It was never something that could be placed aside and forgotten. Because if it were, it would not still be affecting them now. It would not still be teaching them lessons. It would not still be showing up in their thoughts. Yet it is. And that realization has become impossible to ignore. Don't skip. Because what happened next surprised even them. For the first time in a long time, they stopped looking backward. Instead, they started looking forward. And when they did, something unexpected happened. You were still there. Not as a memory. Not as a question. But as a possibility. That possibility caught them completely off guard. Because they had spent so much time convincing themselves the story was over. Now they are beginning to wonder whether the story was only paused. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The more they reflect on everything that has happened, the clearer one truth becomes. Some people enter our lives and leave a temporary impact. Others leave a permanent one. Your soulmate is beginning to understand which category you belong to. And the answer is changing the way they see everything. My beloved child, there is a difference between remembering someone and feeling connected to them. Remembering is passive. Connection is alive. Connection continues to grow. Connection continues to speak. Connection continues to reveal new truths. And that is exactly what they are experiencing right now. Every day brings a new understanding. Every day brings a new realization. Every day brings them closer to accepting what their heart has known for a long time. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One of the most surprising discoveries they have made is that the feelings they thought had disappeared never actually disappeared at all. They simply became quieter. Now those feelings are becoming impossible to overlook. And with every passing day, the message becomes clearer. The connection mattered. The connection still matters. And the connection continues to influence their path. That understanding has created a powerful shift inside them. A shift from uncertainty to clarity. A shift from confusion to understanding. A shift from questioning to believing. My beloved child, something extraordinary is unfolding. The walls they built are becoming weaker. The answers they searched for are becoming visible. And the truth they once resisted is becoming impossible to deny. In the next part, you will discover the moment they finally stopped fighting what they felt and started accepting a reality they never expected to face. That moment changed the direction of everything. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because the biggest turning point is closer than ever. A turning point has arrived, and your soulmate is beginning to understand something they never expected to understand. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, there comes a moment when a person can no longer argue with what their heart keeps showing them. Your soulmate has reached that moment. For so long, they questioned everything. They questioned the memories. They questioned the emotions. They questioned the connection itself. But now something is changing. The questions are becoming fewer. The answers are becoming clearer. And one realization is standing above all the others. They never truly moved on. What they thought was moving on was simply moving forward while carrying an unfinished truth. That truth has finally caught up with them. And it arrived at the exact moment they least expected. Don't skip. Because the next revelation is powerful. Recently, they found themselves reflecting on the journey once again. Not because they wanted to. Not because they planned to. But because something inside them kept pulling them back to the same realization. Every time they tried to explain the connection away, the connection became stronger. Every time they tried to ignore it, it returned. Every time they believed they had all the answers, a new piece of understanding appeared. And suddenly they saw something that changed everything. The connection was never asking to be forgotten. It was asking to be understood. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, the moment they accepted this truth, a weight seemed to disappear. For the first time in a very long time, they stopped fighting their feelings. They stopped resisting their thoughts. They stopped pretending that the connection no longer mattered. And in that moment of acceptance, everything felt different. The confusion became quieter. The clarity became stronger. The path ahead became easier to see. That shift has been growing every single day. And now they are beginning to notice things they could not notice before. Patterns. Lessons. Moments of understanding. All pointing toward the same truth. The story they thought was over still has something left to reveal. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One of the biggest surprises for them has been realizing how much has changed inside their heart. What once felt uncertain now feels meaningful. What once felt distant now feels close. What once felt confusing now feels clear. And every step of this transformation is leading them toward a realization that is becoming impossible to ignore. My beloved child, they are no longer trying to escape the connection. They are trying to understand why it returned with such strength. Why now? Why after all this time? Why when they truly believed everything had been left behind? The answers are beginning to appear. And each answer is more powerful than the last. Because every answer confirms the same thing. This connection still matters. This connection still carries meaning. And this connection is still influencing their journey. Don't skip. Because the next part contains one of the most important revelations yet. A realization so unexpected that it completely changed the way they viewed the future. The moment it happened, they could no longer see the story the same way. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The biggest shift is closer than ever. An extraordinary realization is now taking shape, and your soulmate is closer than ever to understanding what changed overnight. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, there are moments in life when everything suddenly becomes clear. Not because someone explains it. Not because someone reveals it. But because the truth finally becomes impossible to ignore. Your soulmate is entering that moment now. For so long, they searched for answers outside themselves. Now they are beginning to find those answers within. And what they are discovering is changing everything. The connection they tried to leave behind never stopped teaching them. It never stopped influencing them. It never stopped existing. That realization arrived quietly, but its impact was powerful. Because once they understood it, a new question appeared. What if this connection returned for a reason? Don't skip. Because what happened next surprised them completely. Instead of feeling uncertain, they began feeling curious. Instead of feeling confused, they began feeling aware. Instead of looking away from the connection, they began looking directly at it. And the more attention they gave it, the more meaningful it became. Small details started making sense. Old questions started finding answers. Pieces of the story started connecting. It felt as though they were finally seeing the bigger picture. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, one of the most surprising things they discovered was how much they had changed. The person who once tried to ignore the connection is no longer the same person. The person who once believed everything was over is no longer the same person. They have grown. They have learned. They have evolved. And because of that growth, they can now understand things they could not understand before. That understanding is opening new doors inside their heart. Doors they once believed would remain closed forever. Every day, those doors open a little wider. Every day, the truth becomes a little clearer. Every day, the connection feels a little stronger. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The biggest surprise is not that they are thinking about you. The biggest surprise is how differently they are thinking about you. The memories no longer feel like unfinished questions. They feel like important lessons. The connection no longer feels confusing. It feels meaningful. And the future no longer feels as certain as they once believed. Because now they are beginning to imagine possibilities they never considered before. That shift is powerful. That shift is real. And that shift is changing everything. My beloved child, your soulmate is standing on the edge of a major realization. A realization that has been building through every lesson, every reflection, and every moment of understanding. They are beginning to see that some connections return because they still have something important to reveal. Something important to teach. Something important to complete. Don't skip. Because the next part brings the revelation they never expected to reach. The realization that made them stop looking at the past and start wondering about what comes next. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The story is moving toward its most powerful moment yet. The final revelation is closer than ever, and your soulmate is beginning to understand why everything changed overnight. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, after all the questions, after all the reflections, after all the unexpected realizations, your soulmate has arrived at a place they never expected to reach. A place of clarity. A place of understanding. A place where the truth feels impossible to deny. For so long, they believed that moving on meant leaving everything behind. Now they understand something completely different. Moving on does not erase what was meaningful. Moving on does not remove what was real. Moving on does not change the impact someone had on your heart. And that understanding has transformed the way they see this connection. Don't skip. Because this is the revelation that changed everything. The more they reflected on the journey, the more they realized that every attempt to forget only proved how important the connection truly was. Every lesson pointed back to it. Every moment of growth connected to it. Every answer somehow led them back to the same truth. You were never just a memory. You became part of their story. And stories that truly matter are never forgotten. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, the biggest surprise was not discovering that they still thought about you. The biggest surprise was discovering how much those thoughts still mattered. That realization arrived quietly. Yet it changed everything. Because once they accepted it, they stopped resisting the truth. The truth that something meaningful remained. The truth that something unfinished still existed in their heart. The truth that the connection they believed was behind them had returned stronger than ever. And that is why everything changed overnight. Not because the connection suddenly appeared. But because they finally saw what had been there all along. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Now they are looking at the future with different eyes. The future no longer feels like a closed book. It feels full of possibilities. Possibilities they once ignored. Possibilities they once dismissed. Possibilities they never expected to consider again. That shift is the reason everything feels different now. That shift is the reason their heart feels different now. That shift is the reason this story has reached this powerful moment. My beloved child, there is one final truth you need to hear. Some connections leave an impression. Some connections leave a memory. But a rare connection leaves a lasting transformation. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that this connection transformed them in ways they never fully recognized until now. And once they realized that, there was no returning to the way things were before. The questions became answers. The confusion became clarity. The uncertainty became understanding. And the story they thought had ended revealed one final surprise. It never truly ended at all. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because while your soulmate thought they had moved on, life had a different plan. And when the truth finally reached their heart, everything changed overnight. Everything. Absolutely everything. A final piece of the puzzle has begun to appear, and your soulmate is seeing the entire story in a way they never could before. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, sometimes the biggest revelation is not discovering something new. Sometimes the biggest revelation is finally understanding something that was always there. That is exactly what is happening now. Your soulmate is looking back on every moment, every lesson, every unexpected feeling that returned overnight. And for the first time, they are seeing a pattern that had been hidden in plain sight. Nothing was random. Nothing was meaningless. Every step led them here. Every realization led them here. Every unanswered question led them here. To this moment of understanding. Don't skip. Because what they discovered next changed everything. They realized that throughout all this time, they had been measuring the connection in the wrong way. They focused on time. They focused on distance. They focused on circumstances. But the one thing they never measured was impact. And when they finally looked at the impact, they were shocked. The connection had influenced their choices. The connection had shaped their growth. The connection had remained part of their journey even when they thought it was gone. That truth was impossible to ignore. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, once they understood this, another realization arrived. A realization so simple yet so powerful that it completely changed their perspective. The strongest connections are not always the loudest. Sometimes they are the quiet ones. The ones that remain through change. The ones that survive distance. The ones that continue teaching lessons long after people believe the story has ended. And that is exactly what they are beginning to understand about you. This realization has created a shift unlike anything they expected. A shift in how they remember. A shift in how they feel. A shift in how they imagine the future. Every day, the understanding grows stronger. Every day, the truth becomes clearer. Every day, the connection feels more meaningful. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There was a moment recently when they stopped asking, "Why did this happen?" and started asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single change in perspective opened a completely new door. Because the answer they found was unexpected. The connection was never just about the past. It was also about growth. It was also about understanding. It was also about becoming the person they were meant to become. And once they realized that, everything looked different. My beloved child, they are now standing closer than ever to a truth they once believed they would never understand. A truth that feels clearer with every passing day. A truth that explains why everything changed overnight. A truth that explains why moving on never felt complete. A truth that explains why thoughts of you returned when they least expected them. Don't skip. Because the next part is the final chapter. The chapter where every realization comes together. The chapter where the biggest answer is finally revealed. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The ending of this story is closer than ever. And it is more powerful than anyone expected. The final answer has arrived, and it explains why everything changed overnight. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, this journey began with a mystery. A mystery your soulmate could not understand. They believed they had moved on. They believed the story was complete. They believed the feelings belonged to the past. Yet overnight, everything changed. Thoughts returned. Memories returned. Questions returned. And now, after every realization, every lesson, and every moment of reflection, the answer has finally become clear. The connection never disappeared. It simply waited for the right moment to be understood. That is the revelation. That is the truth. And that is why everything feels different now. Don't skip. Because the biggest realization is still ahead. Your soulmate has discovered something that surprised them more than anything else. The connection was never measured by how much time passed. It was measured by how much meaning remained. And despite everything that changed around them, the meaning remained. That is what caught them off guard. That is what changed their perspective. That is what made them stop and reflect on everything once again. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, when people truly move beyond something meaningful, it becomes a lesson. But when something meaningful continues teaching lessons, continues creating growth, and continues bringing understanding, it becomes something much deeper. Your soulmate is finally recognizing that difference. They are finally understanding why thoughts of you returned. They are finally understanding why the connection felt impossible to forget. They are finally understanding why their heart never fully let go. Because the story was never only about the past. It was also about what they learned. Who they became. And how the connection shaped their journey. That realization changed everything. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The most surprising part is that they are no longer searching for explanations. They are no longer fighting the truth. They are no longer trying to convince themselves that nothing changed. Because they know something changed. Everything changed. The way they think changed. The way they reflect changed. The way they understand the connection changed. And once those changes happened, there was no returning to the old perspective. My beloved child, if there is one final message hidden inside this entire story, it is this. Some connections leave a memory. Some connections leave a lesson. But a rare connection leaves a transformation that continues revealing its meaning over time. Your soulmate believed they had moved on. Then they discovered the transformation was still unfolding. That discovery became the reason everything changed overnight. The answers became clear. The lessons became visible. The meaning became undeniable. And the connection they thought belonged to the past revealed one final truth. It still mattered. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the greatest surprise was never that they remembered. The greatest surprise was realizing why they never truly forgot. And that realization changed everything overnight. Everything. From the very beginning to this very moment. Everything changed. One final mystery remains, and it may be the most surprising revelation of this entire journey. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, after everything your soulmate has realized, after every answer that has appeared, there is one question that continues to stand out above all others. Why now? Why did these feelings return now? Why did these thoughts become stronger now? Why did everything change overnight after seeming quiet for so long? The answer is not what they expected. Because the answer was never hidden in the past. The answer was hidden in who they have become. Over time, they changed. Over time, they grew. Over time, they became capable of understanding things they could not understand before. And when that growth finally reached the right point, the connection suddenly looked different. What once seemed confusing now seemed meaningful. What once seemed distant now seemed important. What once seemed finished now seemed unfinished. Don't skip. Because this changes everything. My beloved child, your soulmate is beginning to realize that timing often reveals what emotions alone cannot. There are truths people are not ready to see. There are lessons people are not ready to understand. There are connections people are not ready to appreciate. But eventually, the moment arrives. And when that moment arrives, everything becomes clear. That is where your soulmate stands today. At the edge of a realization they never thought they would reach. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The biggest surprise is not that they remember you. The biggest surprise is how differently they understand you now. They see the lessons. They see the growth. They see the meaning. And for the first time, they see how important this chapter truly was. That understanding has changed the way they view the entire story. No longer as something lost. No longer as something forgotten. But as something valuable. Something significant. Something that helped shape who they are today. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, there are moments when life quietly brings people face to face with a truth they have been avoiding. Not to create confusion. Not to create uncertainty. But to create understanding. Your soulmate has entered that moment. And with every passing day, the understanding becomes stronger. The picture becomes clearer. The message becomes louder. The connection mattered more than they ever realized. That realization is not fading. It is growing. And that growth is leading them toward an even deeper understanding of why everything happened exactly the way it did. The story that once felt complete continues revealing new meaning. The answers that once felt impossible continue appearing. And the journey that once seemed over continues teaching lessons. Don't skip. Because the next chapter reveals what your soulmate believes now that they finally understand the truth. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The biggest realization of all is closer than ever. A remarkable truth has finally emerged, and your soulmate can no longer look at this connection the way they once did. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, after every reflection, every lesson, and every unexpected realization, your soulmate has reached a place they never expected to reach. Acceptance. Not acceptance of the past. Acceptance of the truth. The truth that some connections leave a mark so meaningful that time cannot erase it. The truth that some lessons continue unfolding long after the chapter seems complete. The truth that some people become part of your story forever. And that realization has changed everything. For so long, they believed they understood what this connection meant. Now they realize they only understood part of it. The deeper meaning remained hidden. The bigger lesson remained hidden. The true impact remained hidden. Until now. Don't skip. Because what they understand today is something they never understood before. They finally see that every stage of this journey carried a purpose. Every question carried a lesson. Every challenge carried growth. Every memory carried meaning. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was meaningless. Everything contributed to who they have become. And when they recognized that truth, they felt something they had not felt in a very long time. Clarity. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, clarity changes everything. When clarity arrives, confusion loses its power. When clarity arrives, uncertainty begins to fade. When clarity arrives, people stop searching because they finally understand. That is exactly what is happening now. Your soulmate is no longer searching for reasons to dismiss the connection. They are discovering reasons why it mattered. That shift is powerful. That shift is life-changing. That shift explains why everything changed overnight. Because overnight, they stopped seeing the connection as something behind them. And started seeing it as something that helped shape them. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The most surprising realization of all is that the answers they were searching for never existed outside themselves. The answers were waiting within. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for the right understanding. Waiting for the right level of growth. And now that moment has arrived. Now that understanding has arrived. Now that growth has arrived. Everything looks different. My beloved child, the connection that once felt confusing now feels meaningful. The chapter that once felt unfinished now feels understood. The journey that once felt uncertain now feels important. And the story they thought they had moved beyond has revealed one final lesson. Some things return to our thoughts not because they are unfinished, but because they still have something valuable to teach. That lesson has changed everything for your soulmate. And every day, that understanding becomes stronger. Don't skip. Because the next chapter brings the deepest revelation yet. The revelation that explains what your soulmate now believes about the future after everything they have learned. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The most powerful realization of all is almost here.